Naomi and Oliver were two young people in love, both in their 20s. They lived together in a small one-room apartment. Life wasn't easy, but they had dreams. Oliver worked as a housekeeper in a big hotel on the island. Naomi worked as a cashier in a large superstore nearby. They planned to get married once they saved enough money. Every day was a struggle, but they held on to hope. Naomi had a close friend named Lillian, who also worked at the same store. But Lillian didn't trust Oliver. She always told Naomi that he didn't love her the way she thought. But Naomi ignored her. She believed in Oliver and their love. One evening, Oliver returned from work, looking tired. Naomi had been waiting for him with news. Naomi said quietly, "Oliver, I have something to tell you." Oliver asked, "What is it?" Naomi said, "I'm pregnant." Oliver laughed. "You're joking, right?" Naomi said. "No, I'm serious." His smile dropped. "Pregnant? In this life we're living. Naomi, how do we take care of a child when we can hardly take care of ourselves? I'm not ready for this. You need to get rid of it." Naomi's heart broke. "What? I can't do that. How can you say that to me?" Oliver said firmly, "I'm sorry, but I'm not ready to be a father." And just like that he walked out. The next day, Naomi couldn't stop crying at work. Lillian noticed and quickly pulled her aside. Lillian asked, "What's wrong?" Naomi with tears, "I'm pregnant, and Oliver wants me to get rid of it." Lillian hugged her tightly. "I told you he didn't love you, but don't worry. We'll find a way." That night, Oliver came home looking sad. He apologized. Oliver said, "I'm sorry, Naomi. I was scared, but I promised to stand by you. We're in this together." 3 months later, one sunny morning Naomi woke up, but Oliver was gone. She thought he had left early for work. But that evening, he still wasn't back. His phone didn't go through. Naomi called Lillian, who told her to stay calm, and that they'd look for him the next day. The next morning, they went to Oliver's workplace. But the manager told them something shocking. Oliver hasn't worked here in over a month. Naomi's world shattered. If he hadn't been going to work, then where had he been going every morning? Naomi tried calling his friends. No one had seen him. Heartbroken and pregnant, she had to stop working. She couldn't afford rent anymore. Lillian took her into her own tiny one-room home in the ghetto. Life was hard, but Lillian became like a sister. She registered Naomi at a clinic, bought baby things, and stood by her through everything. Finally, 9 months later, Naomi gave birth to a baby boy. He looked just like Oliver. Lillian named him Jaden. Naomi named him Peace, because she believed he would always be her peace, no matter what. Time passed. 1 year later, Oliver was still missing. Naomi said, "It's time I start working. You've done so much for us, Lillian." Lillian had now become a supervisor at the store. Naomi didn't want a full-time job. She needed something flexible to care for Peace. Maybe cleaning work. Something simple. Weeks later, Lillian found her a cleaning job. With an old couple, Mr. and Mrs. Gold. Naomi dropped Peace at daycare every morning and went to work. Years passed. Peace turned 5, brave and brilliant. Naomi and Lillian had saved up and moved into a better apartment. Life was finally getting brighter. But one day, Mr. and Mrs. Gold told Naomi they were moving abroad to live with their children. She would lose her job again. A few years later, Peace turned 8. Naomi celebrated his birthday with a small cake and drinks for his school friends. Then, something unexpected happened. Naomi's old boss called. They were recommending her for a new house help job with their daughter Ivy, who is married and back from abroad with her husband. Naomi was thankful. The next day she went to the address. It was a huge mansion. A young woman, Ivy, welcomed her warmly and explained the job and pay. It was perfect. Naomi began working there. One day, Ivy told her, "Clean well and make a special dinner. My husband is coming back from a trip." Naomi cleaned. She cooked. She set the table. Then Ivy's husband came home. Naomi walked out of the kitchen with a tray of juice in her hands and froze. The tray dropped. The juice spilled. It was Oliver. Naomi couldn't believe her eyes. Ivy asked what was wrong, but Naomi couldn't speak. Oliver looked just as shocked. That night, Naomi cried as she watched Peace sleeping. Lillian had now traveled to the UK. Naomi had no one to talk to. She picked up her phone and called her. Naomi said softly, "You won't believe who I saw." Lillian asked, "Who?" Naomi whispering, "Oliver. He's Ivy's husband. My boss." Lillian was silent for a moment and said, "What? Where and how?" She asked, "So what did he say?" Naomi said we didn't talk because there is nothing to talk about and I am quitting the job. Lillian said I understand how you feel. But quitting the job is not the best, you guys need to talk. You need the job to pay your bills and I am sure you won't want to go back to the ghetto. Naomi burst into tears again. Lillian said, but you need to talk to him, Naomi. I know it hurts, but you need to clear the air. Naomi tried to stay strong. After seeing Oliver again, the memories came rushing back. The pain, the promises, tears, but now. He was married to Ivy, her boss, and Naomi. She was just the housemaid in their mansion. The next day at work, Naomi did her duties quietly. She avoided eye contact with Oliver. He tried to say something, but she walked past him, like he didn't exist. That evening, Naomi sat beside Peace, watching him do his homework. Peace said, "Mummy, that man who came yesterday. He was nice. He smiled at me." Naomi's chest tightened, but she smiled weakly. "He's just someone I used to know." A few days later, there was a knock on Naomi's door. Naomi from the kitchen. "Peace, please check who it is." Peace opened the door. Peace cheerfully said, "Good afternoon, sir." Naomi turned and froze. It was Oliver. Naomi said sharply, "What are you doing here?" Oliver held gift bags in his hand. "I just want to talk." Naomi raising her voice. "Get out. If I see you around my child again, I'll call the police." She slammed the door. She collapsed to the floor and cried. Peace said softly, "Mummy, who is he? Is he your friend?" Naomi looked at her son. "How do you tell an 8-year-old the truth?" She wiped her tears. Later that night, Naomi called Lillian in the UK. Naomi voice breaking. "He came to my house, Lillian. He stood right in front of Peace. And Peace, he likes him." Lillian paused. "Naomi, I know it's hard, but you need to talk to him. For Peace, you don't have to be with him. But Peace has the right to know his father." Naomi didn't sleep that night. Her heart was heavy. The next day, after work, Oliver showed up again. This time, Naomi let him in. Naomi said coldly, "Sit." Oliver looked tired. "Naomi, sorry. I know it's too late. But I need you to hear me out." Naomi folded her arms. "I was scared. Back then, I didn't know how to be a father. I was broke. Ivy helped me. Gave me a chance. But with a condition. I had to marry her." Naomi's eyes filled with tears. "So you chose money over me. Over our child." Oliver said, "I thought I could forget. But I couldn't. When I saw Peace, it broke me. I want to be in his life. I won't disturb your life. I just want to be his father." Peace peeked from the corner of the room. Naomi sighed. "You left me for 8 years. I raised him alone. I begged, I cried, I worked. Lillian gave up her life for us. And now, you come back." Oliver dropped to his knees, crying, "Please, let me just make things right." Peace walked up slowly. "Mummy, please forgive Daddy. I like him." Naomi looked at her son. She whispered, "Okay, you can be in his life. But I don't want confusion. Peace must come first." Oliver nodding. "Thank you. Anything you want. Just let me be his dad." Back home, Ivy waited for Oliver in the living room as he entered. He was shocked to see her not in bed yet at that time. Ivy stood up, slapped him, and said, "You couldn't find someone better to cheat on me, is my maid Naomi. You are so cheap and you are shit." Oliver was shocked and asked, "How did you find out?" Ivy said, "I noticed you guys' ways since the day you set your eyes on her and her ways too. And since then I keep a tab on your movement." Oliver said with a shaking voice, "She was my ex and my baby mama. She had a son of 8 years old for me. I left her for you. I am not cheating on you. I just want to be in my child's life." Ivy's legs shakes to hear the truth and said, "Don't forget, I made you who you are today." Oliver said, "Maybe, but Peace is my blood. I won't turn my back on him again." The next morning Naomi arrived at work. Ivy was waiting. Ivy said sharply, "So, you had a child for my husband?" Naomi stood calm but strong. "Yes, I did. But that was before you. I'm not here to cause problems. I'm here to work." Ivy said, "Well, you can't have him. He's mine." Naomi smiled faintly and said, "I don't want him. I just want peace for me and my son. That's all." Then she added, "I came to tell you, I'm quitting. Today is my last day." Ivy's eyes widened and she asked, "Why?" Naomi said gently, "Some journeys must end before new ones can begin." Months passed. Naomi and Peace lived quietly. Oliver visited every weekend, bringing books, toys, and spending time with Peace. He never forced himself into Naomi's life again. He only focused on being a father. One sunny Saturday morning, Oliver came his car and helped pack Naomi's bags. Peace shouting with joy, "Dad! Dad!" Naomi watched them with a soft smile. This time, not from sadness. Peace. They were going to the airport. Naomi and Peace were finally moving to the UK to join Lillian. He had done everything he could, put things right. But sometimes, sorry doesn't fix a broken cup. Naomi was a single mother, not by choice, but because life happened. Moral lessons. Life doesn't always go as planned. Sometimes things change, and we must be brave. Being a single mother is not always a choice. Sometimes people are forced to be strong when others walk away. But with strength, with love, and with good friends, you can still succeed. Never judge someone without knowing their full story. Naomi didn't plan to raise a child alone, but she didn't give up. Hard work and kindness can bring you help when you need it most. Lillian was a true friend who showed what love really means. And remember, saying sorry is not always enough. Our actions can hurt others deeply, and it takes more than words. Fix things.